Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dice, Drinks, and Drama's new season, Eberron Noir, The Reigns of Rhaan. All right, so we begin in the offices of the Lucky Pawn Detective Agency in the depths of Sharn in a district named Harith's Folly. Harith's Folly was a district in the City of Towers of Sharn, which is this huge city, the biggest one in Eberron, filled with intrigue, the most metropolitan place where people of all sorts come together. Harith's Folly was an experiment given to a brilliant architect who decided that he wanted to build a district filled with all manner of different architectural styles from across the world in all sort of strange and brilliant ways. However, this has led to a wild, chaotic place filled with Karnathi architecture, right next to Siren sweeping buttresses, right next to imaginations of Mabar, the plane of shadow and darkness. One such place was imagined as an homage to Conqueror, the most famous strategic game in the world. And luckily, our detective, Ashley Gwiddonod, was able to purchase this pawn-shaped building and build a detective agency based on his reputation as a champion Conqueror player. It is the month of Rhaan, the very first of Rhaan, and rain, as is common in Sharn at all times, but especially so during this month and this season, is drenching the towers. Torrential downpour outside. Ashley is looking out the window, watching the rain. He has a brilliant view from the back of the pawn to look out at the rest of Harith's Folly and Sharn itself. Watching the citizens walking around, drenched, campaign posters for the new city council elections that are coming up on Boldre's Hearth, or Boldre's Feast, a holiday in just 9 days. It's a typical night. Ashley doesn't have a job. What does he look like? What is he doing? He is relaxing between jobs. What is it like, Carter?
Yeah, Ashley definitely is not in his breastplate armor, like on the job getup, because he doesn't have a job. He's probably hanging out in his Moorgrave University jersey. He likes a good I forget how it's pronounced. Hazrak. He doesn't play. He's not a shifter. Razak. Thank you. He's a big Razak fan, and Moorgrave University has a fantastic team. So he's proud of his alma mater. He's sitting around. He's drinking a Sazerac, which is a real pre-prohibition cocktail, and actually has ties to the origin of the word cocktail. I learned recently, which is cool.
All right.
Yeah.
What does he look
probably
like?
musing on his openings for Conqueror. Different gambits and such. He's lounging around. I like to think that he has a beautiful reading chair right next to what is essentially like a pawn that opens up like one of those antique globes into a bar, and that's where he's made his cocktail. He's studying a board that is on a coffee table in front of him. He's essentially playing himself to pass the time.
Great. There's a light knock on the inner door.
Come in.
Eulogy walks in. Eulogy is Ashley's assistant, the only other employee of the Lucky Pawn Detective Agency. She's a female presenting warforged, originally built to catalog the dead of the Siren army, thus her name. But this gave her incredible abilities for organization and a desire to do good in the world. Ashley's detective agency isn't extraordinarily successful, but she knows that she's out there doing what's right. She says, Mr. Gwiddonod?
Yes.
You have a very fancy visitor, somebody that's wouldn't normally be seen in this part of the city. She says she's got a job for you. Should I let her in?
Yeah, Yes, please.
All
Let her in.
right.
Thank you, Eulogy.
And she says, Monsieur Ir'Tain, the detective is ready for you. And
would I know anything about that surname?
sure. Why don't you roll a history check? You're going to know something basic about it, but the more you roll, the better.
History. I have a +3, but I rolled a nat 1.
Great. You know that the Ir'Tains are a very famous, wealthy family. They own about 50%, if not more, of Sharn. And they are the wealthiest family, and they're half-elven in the city. You don't know much about Octavia, though, with that natural 1.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So the door opens, and the first thing you see is a circle of black. And it slowly closes itself. And as it does, you see a stunningly beautiful half-elven woman, middle-aged, maybe in her 40s, which is an appearance of early 30s, late 20s for a half-elf, right? She is wearing a black dress that clings to her body that perfectly matches her long raven hair. She has piercing blue-green eyes and is wearing a shawl that is made of glamour weave that literally looks like the lightning storm outside. It in fact mirrors the lightning storm. When lightning strikes, her shawl lights up. She removes it carefully and places it. Somehow she's utterly dry. Behind her, through the front doors, you see her sable Pegasus that she used to fly down here from the Skyway, the area of the city that is held above the rest of the city proper, floating through the magic of Sharn. She is somehow completely dry, and she says, Mr. Ashley Gwiddonod, I presume.
Yes, it's me, yes.
I'm sure I need no introduction. My name is Octavia Ir'Tain, and I've come to you in a matter of deepest secrecy and need.
I see. And, up front, I must ask, why me?
Well, Mr. Gwiddonod, the matter that I'm coming to speak to you on is incredibly sensitive, and most of the other inquisitive agencies in this city would, have connections to the nobility, or the dragon-marked houses, or the government of Sharn, and I simply cannot let any news of what has happened get out to anyone else. And when I did my research, I found that you are, well, to put it bluntly, though not terribly famous or well paid, extraordinarily successful. Especially given the recent case you had finding those missing shifter children in Carnerstone. In fact, before we go further, I would like to hear from you your account of that case and why it worked out so well. May I have a seat though first?
Oh, please, yes. Would you like a cocktail of any kind?
Oh, please! I could desperately use some spirits, please. She sits and she pulls out a long-handled cigarillo, and she puts it and she holds it out actually as though expecting a light.
I presume that Ashley has a tinderbox or a lighter or some means of, lighting the cigarettes.
Great.
He does have a tinderbox.
You do so. And she is very pleased. Can you make a persuasion check with advantage for me?
Sure.
First impressions.
Well, that's persuasion. With advantage, I got a 19.
Great.
-1. 18.
She seems very comfortable suddenly. She really likes your aesthetic. She likes how you're handling things. She likes that you were so your etiquette in lighting her cigarette. And she leans back in the chair, ready to hear about your qualifications.
Well, when it comes to the matter of the shifted children, what I did is what I do with every case, which is I look at the board in front of me, and another detective might look back and try to recreate how the pieces got to where they are on the board. But what I do is I look at the board and I see where they are moving and what they want. And in the case of those children, there was a, to put it bluntly, degenerate mind at work. And it was difficult to put myself in that mindset, but once I did, I found him quite quickly and put him down.
There are so many dangerous people in this city. It's good to know that you know how to handle them. Now, I did my best on my own to look into your past, and it's remarkably shadowed, especially if you don't mind my saying so. It's very strange that such a highly ranked Conqueror player is, well,
From the backwaters of a swamp.
Yes. She seems utterly relieved that she didn't have to say a half-orc. And she says, yes, of course, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell me a little bit about how you came to be in this position?
Well, it is a long story, certainly, but to put it succinctly, I never knew my parents. Well, that is not entirely true. I have a relationship with my father. But at birth, I was abandoned and raised by a series of sorceresses in the Lantern Hold, in the Shadow Marches, out to the west, the backwater swamps. I made a friend who taught me the game and tutored me in secret. And then, at a moment when I nearly lost my life, I was saved by the game. A simple wager. And from then on, I decided to pursue the game. Unfortunately, it does not pay very well, and despite my success, the bills need to get paid.
Well, let me be very blunt, Mr. Gwiddonod. I think that your fortunes may have just changed. I have a very sensitive task, and I don't want to give it to a single man, but your reputation is such that I want you to put together a group to aid me in this task. Now, I looked at your normal fees, and it's 10 gold pieces a day, plus expenses.
Plus expenses, yes. That is important.
With a bonus expected based on success, depending on the difficulty of the job.
Certainly.
This job is going to pay 2,000 gold pieces, with 1,000 given out upon acceptance of the job, and another 1,000 upon its success. Now, you'll be splitting this up with your group, but that should be more than sufficient for a job that should take only a few days, and if there are extra expenses or extra days, the money will increase. Is this suitable for you?
Yes. How many days do you expect? Just for bookkeeping purposes?
I honestly don't expect it to take for very long, maybe 2-3 days at the most. But it's, again, extraordinarily sensitive. She looks at her wrist, and a illusionary hologram shows up. She says, "It's about 5 p.m. now. I would like to return at about 9 or 10, and for you to have your group together so that I can give you this job. Is this acceptable?"
Yes, I understand that time is of the issue, and I will act accordingly. In the meantime, since it is 5 p.m., he places down his cocktail that he has made for her during this entire conversation. He says, "Please enjoy yourself." Gets up and in a stern, loud voice, but not yelling or shouting in any sort of a rude way, he goes, "Eulogy, clear the day, I am out."
Of course, Mr. Gwiddonod. Anything you say, Mr. Gwiddonod. There wasn't anything else to do, though. I mean, you're so busy, and we're giving up all of those things so that you can focus on this very important client, Mr. Gwiddonod.
I will take your leave now. And he's going to give a short bow and then make his way.
She takes out a bag of coins and says, as a gesture of good faith, here's 50 gold coins to use for your transportation for today. It's miserable out there. Stay dry.
Well, thank you very much. This is very kind.
She puts up her magical umbrella again, puts back on her shawl, gets back on her sable Pegasus, and flies back up to the Skyway to come back down in a few hours.
Did she touch that cocktail?
She took a sip of it. I mimed it, but
okay, great.
I didn't say it. She took a sip of it, and it was clearly, she's a delicate flower of an individual,
sure.
And it was a little...
A Sazerac is, wow, I did not know until today. I was like, that sounds fun. That's pre-prohibition. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
It's a wallop of flavor, let me tell you. So I understand, but if Ashley is alone in the room, he is going to quickly down that cocktail. Great.
You do so.
Great. Fantastic. And then head on his way towards... I don't know if you're have
heading,
a certain
I do,
place in mind. Great.
Your first stop is going to be picking up Foxy.
Foxy? That was my intuition.
Yeah.
Great.
And she's in Cornerstone. Cornerstone is a... Well, why don't we go there and I'll describe it, right?
Yes.
So you take one of the fancy flying conveyances, covered, usually a little expensive for your tastes, but sure. Given that time is of the essence and you've been given an allowance, a
massive one that, like, there's no way I'm spending even 10% of this on transportation for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. You take this sky sled. It's covered. You fly through the city, and as much as there is rain, when you get to Cornerstone, there's still so much activity. If you don't do things in the rain in Sharn, you don't do them. There's a number of protesters outside Cornerstone saying, "Get the beasts out of our city! No shifters! No peace!" Or no shifters, finally peace. A bunch of humans and others protesting this district. Additionally, wet in the rain, you see a number of campaign posters, right? Mm-hmm. These campaign posters are for two individuals. The first is the incumbent counselor, I've forgotten her name, of course, but I know exactly where it is. Shasa Tar. She's the incumbent. She's a shifter. She runs this district that is primarily of shifters, and but she is having a fierce re-election campaign against Noan Ir'Lacia. Ir'Lacia. The Lacia family are human, pro-human, anti-everything else, wealthy family, the second wealthiest family in Sharn. They technically, their mansion is in the Skyway, but they technically have holdings in Cornerstone that allow him to run for office here. And it's a poor district, and he's offering to bring money and business and prestige to the district, but also to remove some of the shifters, who, though they make up a large part of the population here, for shifters are still only 30 or 40%, which is leading to a very tough, nasty campaign, right? The election is on Boldre's feast, as all elections are in 9 days, right? Now you're flying to Foxy's house. Foxy's house is in a very residential area. Would you like to describe it, Devon? What does Foxy's abode look like?
It's very rundown. It's not... Foxy just got to this city not too long ago and has had trouble finding stable housing. She finally got this place. It was a dump when she got it, but she's a farm girl and knows how to fix up a fixer-upper, so it looks better than it once did.
Great. So, you knock on the door, I imagine, Ashley.
Yes, obviously.
All right, and Foxy runs to the door. She's got Birdie, her child, in her arm, and she says, "Hello there."
Foxy, it is good to see you again.
Please finish.
It's so great to see you. Please come in.
What does Foxy look like?
So, Foxy is very foxy. She had the first thing you notice on Foxy is her bazungas, the mommy milkers, if you will. They're quite luscious, quite huge. Whatever you think is big, think bigger, and that's Foxy. Her hair is beautiful, luscious, soft, obviously. Like very silky smooth. You want to touch it. You can't. You want to touch it. Her appearance right now, she's in sort of this like just plain white smock. You can see a little dribble and drool from where she's holding the child. She's in really cute shorts, very much mom type of deal right now. She's beautiful.
What does the child look like?
Birdie looks like a 3-year-old child.
Has so shifters in their mid childhood, 6, 7-ish, usually manifest. They can manifest as early as 3, but has she manifested animalistic traits yet?
No, she has not. She looks just like a regular human child right now.
Great. All right, continue your scene.
Ashley, it's so nice to see you again. Thank you.
You don't... It's fine. Yes, of course.
Please, can I get you anything to drink? Maybe a scotch or a whiskey?
I would... Do you have a rye?
Rye? Well, I'll see what I can whip up for you, okay?
Thank you.
You have a very nice Ondarian rye brought in from that would be the kind of drink you drank living in the Eldine Reaches. It's smooth, but with like a sharp aftertaste.
Cool.
Will this work?
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, I must ask, what is a very distinguished detective like you doing in a place like this?
Foxy, I am only distinguished in your eyes and a few else. Thank you.
Please, after you saved my dear Birdie here, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
Well, about that, Foxy,
Is it...
Remember that during the case, you showed a great passion and,
That's fine, baby.
Fire. Not just passion, but skill.
You think?
That,
I was only doing what came instinctually.
You have a gift, frankly.
I've been told that.
I'm sure. Anyways, you have a way with crowds, and I have been requested to, gather a team, as it were. So, I have seen what I know is a very small amount of everything that lays inside of you. You are, I can tell, quite qualified, but I would like to know. So, this power you have over people, where did you learn it?
Well, Mama had the gift too. Ducky, that was her name. She could always find a way to soothe even the wildest beast within, you know? My daddy, his name was Benny. Benny was a wild, fiery one as well. But he was always cool around Mama. I kind of picked it up from her and learned a couple of things along the way.
What's more, I want to throw something out there. It is the month of Rhaan, and Rhaan is involved with the plane of Thalanis. During the month of Rhaan, those with connections to the Fae have a little bit more of that connection. So Foxy, because a little bit of your bardic magic is connected through the Fae, through the College of Glamour, is there something special or different happening in your house? Is there something a little bit more Fae than normal?
You can't ever place it, but every once in a while you'll see a twinkle out in the corner of your eye. And if you look there, you won't notice anything. But just on the edges of your periphery, tiny twinkles, like the air is crackling with magic.
I do not mean to alarm you, Foxy, but there seems to be some arcane magics that have infected your abode.
Oh, don't worry. This happens every Rhaan. This happened with Mama, too. She said that when she used to grow up, these little fire fairies that's what she called them, fire fairies. They used to just come all over the place as well. I think it's just something that has to do with, our nature.
Another thing, Ashley, can you make a perception check for me?
I would love to. One moment. I'm proficient. 6 + 3, 9.
9? That's actually enough. It was a difficulty 5. In the corner, there's something very strange for a shifter's house, and you learn something about Foxy. There's a small shrine to the Silver Flame. A religion that often victimizes shifters and others that are slightly supernatural. It's very strange to see that. So you should potentially bring that up as well.
Oh, that old thing? Well, Daddy was actually, Benny was actually named after Benin, is that his name? Benin, one of the
martyrs?
Yes. You know the one.
Yes. But I forget the martyr's name as well.
Yes.
Tira Marone is the main martyr, but there are many martyrs.
One of the shifter heroes. But he was named after one of the shifter heroes of the Silver Flames past, and we've always just kind of grown up in the religion. I would give you a little offering for saving here, Ducky, but I kind of threw in everything I had last Fathom's Fall. It's customary to...
No, that is not necessary. It is fine.
It's I'm new to the city, you see, and it's very strange, the energy surrounding Fathoms didn't very feel welcome.
Carter, Ashley, can you roll me a religion check?
Yes. Our practice is different here in the city versus... 15 + 3, 18.
Great.
I'm a smart boy.
Fathom's Fall is a holiday that just passed 5 days ago. It's a holy day for the Silver Flame, marking a time in which the were-rats of Sharn were banished by a martyr named Fathom. Now, Fathom died during this, is why he's a martyr, but it is a holiday, an anti-lycanthropic Silver Flame holiday. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the more zealous members of the Silver Flame do not differentiate between lycanthropes and shifters. So Fathom's Fall often coincides with racism and violence against the shifter community. This year in particular, for some reason, the violence is upped and terrible. There's been a number of hate crimes against shifters in the city over the last week, and it doesn't seem, despite the fact that it's been 5 days since the holiday, it seems to only be growing in pain and frequency. Continue.
Okay. I don't know any sort of reason as to why with a what did I roll? 18?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay, cool. Great.
Thank you. No. Yeah, nobody knows why this is happening. The best, so this is more of a history check than the religion check. There's a Hrazak champion, the shifter sport turned activist named Bear, who has been really putting shifters out there and asking for rights and moving in a nonviolent direction. And maybe this is causing the bigots to expand, but it seems ill to blame an activist for the bigots that are attacking them.
Sure, certainly. Yeah. Okay, great. Cool.
But look at me going on about my problems. You came here for a reason.
Well, to be honest, Foxy, I do not know the precise reason. I have been endeavored to acquire a team of individuals I believe are capable of trust, first and foremost, and then something extraordinary after that. You were the first to come to mind.
Well, there's no way I could say no to you. And I'm not going to lie. Any type of job would be better than the one I have right now. I've got to have something to take care of this little girl right here.
I am thinking this would require a team of maybe 4, and the payment for a few days' work is split equally, 500 gold.
500?
500 gold, Foxy.
500 gold? Oh, I could set Birdie's future with 500
anything.
gold.
Anything. This is... I thought of you. We both need it, frankly.
Ashley
why,
was so pure.
Why, Ashley? Why have you thought of her in particular? What about her, and what about your work together made you think of her?
This case that we keep mentioning, one of the shifter children that was abducted and kidnapped was Foxy's child, Birdie. And we worked together on that case. It's the first time we met each other. But there's a strong bond, and Foxy is a very capable bard. But Ashley also saw, someone who was struggling to, make a life that they want for themselves, and it's a very different life than what Ashley wants for himself. But he sees the great intentions in what Foxy wants for her and her son. So son, awesome. Right? Birdie's a boy.
Birdie's
daughter?
A girl.
Birdie's a daughter.
Great.
Her and her girl.
All right. Time is of the essence. We need to get our other people, so let's get out of here.
Okay. Great. Ashley, would you... Or I'm... Pardon me. It's a very strong rye that you gave me. Foxy, would you like to accompany me for the rest of the team?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to see what type of people you know. Just a second. Birdie, and I'm going to cast Sleep on Birdie and make sure she's very nice and comfortable.
Birdie passes into a nice, lovely sleep. She is very young, but she'll be okay for a few hours. Shifter, you know what? The shifter community here is very close-knit. Why don't you call your neighbor to watch over her?
Ooh, I get a neighbor already?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. What is her name?
Fangs. She's a crocodile shifter.
Fangs? Fangs, honey, can you please watch Birdie for a few?
Oh, of course.
Thank you so much, Fang. I can always count on you.
Fang is a middle-aged woman with scales and a long, a semi-half-long snout. She comes in and says, absolutely, I'll watch your daughter for you anytime you need. I'm just happy to see you working again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Foxy and Ashley exit Foxy's abode. It's on the outside of a tower, which is why it's so cheap, because the inner ones are protected from the inclement weather. So you go right into the driving rain, lightning crashes. But still, through all of this, as night is falling, you can see Rhaan, the moon after which the night is named, blazing in the sky. It's one amongst the tiniest moons of Eberron, but it's connected to both Thalanis, which is the plane of the Fae, and the Mark of Scribing, which is the gnome house connected to language. And you can always see indecipherable but script written on this tiny, bright little moon. Even though you can't quite make out what it says, you always get the sense of language from this moon.
Is there like a message that is ever, like, you ever look at it and you're like, that feels like the word
it's
destiny, or
perhaps I think it's like a Rorschach test.
furnace?
Nothing is actually written there.
Why is the moon always written in Daddy Loves Me? Like, why does it always say that?
Brilliant.
That's so weird.
So
It's an insecure moon, I'm gonna tell you.
Kesrick, I just saw your writing in the chat, and I'm so happy that you're on board with all my themes without even knowing them. Great. So as you exit, you again see more of these posters. So many posters for this big election. Every district is having an election, but this is the most contentious because of the race relations going on in the city at the moment. And the other thing is there's several ballot initiatives up, and people are there's more. There's even some posters on that. Things like increasing the prices for different goods, lowering rents in the area, a tariff on non-humanoid labor, including shifters, that is being introduced. There's all sorts of different things. This is a very political time in this district.
Ooh.
Right?
I really don't like that last one.
And it's not great.
Dicey, bad, evil politics.
Indeed. And it's a big deal because Noan is very much a proponent of this. The Leisha family is a huge proponent of this, whether or not he wins this council seat. As this is happening, can I get perception checks from both Ashley and Foxy?
Absolutely. Perception. Come on. Roll them bones. 19. 16 plus 3.
Oh, well, that's a 6, so...
Ashley, the hair on the back of your neck and on the back of your knuckles. I'm imagining a hairy orc. Am I correct?
Yeah. There's no way I can provide that for you, chat. But use your collective imagination to imagine a version of me that has body hair.
And it like stands up, and you get the desperate feeling of being watched. And you turn, and you see a dark, cloaked figure, completely covered, protecting themselves from the rain, watching you.
Do I see anything poking out from underneath the shadows of this cloak?
Nothing at all. And as you look, the figure immediately notices you and dashes back into a nearby alleyway.
I think Ashley has the emotional intelligence not to mention this to Foxy just yet. But he is going to keep an eye out for our tail.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't want to alarm anyone.
Your large conveyance, the covered flying vehicle. I actually have a prop. This is a covered version of this. Really. A covered version of this is what's carrying you around the city, right? Rather expensive for a few people.
Oh
but
yeah,
the fastest
we're taking a yacht. Wait, is it? Did I charter this for just the two of us? Are we like going in luxury?
Well, it's the fastest. It's not. It's practical. So
sure.
it's. But yes.
But it's just the two of us on board. Like we don't. It's not like an Uber ride share situation.
No,
like
there is a pilot. There is a pilot,
mm-hmm.
right? And a gnome from Zalargo who says, "Well, where are we going next?"
Ashley, this is fancy.
Where is my mortician friend? Where?
Halistan
Halistan
is the name of the district.
Great.
Yeah.
Halistan.
Great.
That is where we are going next. Thank you very much, Mr. Pilot.
All right. So, he says, that's not a very nice place. Even Cornerstone, though is a little low class for this kind of conveyance. Are you sure we're going to be safe in the depths of the city like that?
I just pull out a little bit of my greatsword, which is beautiful and of elven make. It's nice. I have a lark version of it. I'll show you guys later.
We'll say it's Valinar, which means it shares an ancestry with Octavia.
Okay. Okay. Love that. So it's a wait, Valinar?
Valinar, what elf?
Really gonna change one letter. I missed that one, Keith Baker. Great. Cool.
Didn't realize it was Valinar?
As opposed to Valinor from...
No, they're very different.
Very different.
You've
very
had
different.
my cocktail. It's called the Valinar Old Fashioned. You've heard me say it so many times.
I assumed you meant Valinor.
I was the wrong
Oh, that's
one.
funny.
That menu has been up in a board game store for a
Okay,
year
I'm never
plus
at
at
the
this
east side. Also, you discontinued the berry brambles. Why would I go?
I'm sorry, it's a winter cocktail. You'll have
I understand. You are right.
All right.
1,000%.
So you take the sky sled down to Halistan.
Mhm.
So this is a dark and grimy place. This is in Lower Dura, the poorest part of the city, but it is the nicest part of the poorest part of the city.
It's the nicest part of the lowest section.
Right.
Is that what you mean? Okay, great.
Yeah, but it's also a very low class district, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Now
it's
this
a city of towers, and you live on the first floor.
Right.
It's not a nice
Exactly.
place to live.
This is a place to go for all manner of illegal things. You can get Absentia, Dream Lily, and even with the moving in of Da'ask, you can get Dragon's Blood. This used to be a stronghold of the Boromar crime family, which is a halfling crime family that's been around for 500 years and has gone respectable. The city councilor of this district is Boromar, right? It is, and Halistan is the place that upper class people go to interact with the Boromar low class things. Does that make sense?
Oh,
So
that's
it is
where
not-
they go to pick up.
Right, exactly.
Cool.
However, the district has become extraordinarily dangerous in recent days, not just because of it's always been a little dangerous, but because Da'ask, the monstrous crime syndicate that is based on the monsters of Droam, that has gnolls and ogres and goblins and so on, has been really moving into Halistan to upset the Boromars. Blood in the streets, getting worse and worse every day, picking up recently, seemingly in tandem, with the attacks on the shifters in Cornerstone.
In my Grandmaster Chess way, see a causation in the correlation between the two? And what check would you like me to roll?
There is no check to make because if there is a causation and correlation, you don't have the information to pick that up.
Okay,
Your instincts, your chess instincts say yes,
cool.
but there's no evidence.
Okay.
Right? The Sharn Watch has officially declared that there is no connection, just people are up in arms.
I mean, it's the Sharn Watch.
Indeed. Which does not have a presence in this district. Right? In fact, it's the control of this district is Boromar purely. Now, you're heading to a mortician's down here. And on the way, you actually see a couple dead bodies, some gnolls and halflings that have yet to be cleaned up from a recent clash on the street. Do you want to stop and take a second to look at them, Foxy and Ashley?
I would love to examine how they died specifically.
There's all manner of strange arcane markings on them. Why don't you make an Arcana check or a Medicine check?
I'm gonna do Arcana because I'm better at it because I distrust it. Oh, that was nearly a 16, but it's a 6. 9.
All you can tell is that it was magical in origin. Foxy, can you get...
Mine, however, was an Arcana check. That's +1, 17.
Great. So you look at it, and this is clearly the result of spells, magic missile in particular. And is that's not normally a thing that is used like magic's common, but not that kind of common. That's usually not used in street brawls like this. And with that 17, you're able to look at the residue and determine that it came from a wand, a not particularly well-primed wand, a cheap wand of magic missile. Right? This is not normal for the Boromar, and it's
a balsa wood wand.
Right, exactly. And it's on both sides. Both of them are scored by these magic missiles. It's very strange and perhaps indicative of something going on. But you don't have time. Exactly. It's strange. So you go in to this mortician's. Does this mortician's place have a name, Victoria?
Actually, it doesn't. It used to have a name, and then the name has been scrubbed off a few times to keep it, undercover a little bit. People can tell where it is, but they can't tell who owns it, and that's how the Boromir likes to keep it.
Great.
Can you still see the apostrophe S mortuary? Mortuary.
You could, if it weren't for this almost resin of black, like almost tar that seems to have scratched a lot of it off.
Great. Incidentally, where you're in right now is dry. You're in the inside of the Tower of Khalistan, so it's raining outside. There's lots of tracked-in water. Everybody that went outside is still soaked, but you're in a little bit more of a dry place.
Yeah, we're at the bottom of the Judge Dredd mega block.
So, yes. You go in, and a halfling is sitting behind the counter. He says, "Well, hello. We're not expecting a visitors today. What is this?"
I am looking for the owner of the establishment.
Oh,
On personal business.
is the miss expecting you?
No, but it is important. So if you would send the message along, I would make it worth your while.
Very well. Let me go in and check. And he goes in a few moments later, and he says, "Delaria will see you now. Though she is very busy and is not going to interrupt her work for a call."
No, that is fine. Thank you very much. I slap the counter of his desk, wherever it is, as I am passing to the back door, and I lay down 3 gold.
Very generous.
The patron is generous, and if you can convince your boss to take this job, it might trickle down. No? And I walk past.
If you say so. You go in.
He says so, but he doesn't believe it because he's all the wiser. He knows.
All right. Delaria, what do we see when we walk in?
So as Ashley walks in, you can see Delaria sitting right on top of the corpse with a bowl of what appears to be, I don't know what necessarily would be an Eberron, but chicken tikka masala.
Sure.
She is eating it with chopsticks right over the open cadaver, the chest. Mm-hmm. And as Ashley goes in, she kind of looks up, a little bit distracted, drops the chicken for a half second, manages to grab it, but not before it hits the ribs. In a swift move, she just goes right for the mouth and eats it.
5-second rule.
5-second rule, yes. We were all thinking it.
Delaria, the corpse you're working on is a mid-level Boromar thug that they don't know how they died. It looks like it's some sort of poison or something. You're doing an autopsy, right?
Yeah.
What does Delaria look like before we go into the scene?
Delaria is about 6'3", very crimson-toned tiefling. You can see her tail a little bit, occasionally at angles, but it's mostly her kind of holding it back because she's always really, really frustrated. Her hair is very tight. You can see a bunch of scars. She wears a very loose fitting top and suspenders, high leather pants, and some kind of a little bit gaudy like platform boots. You can tell that's where the fashion is.
This tail that is barely visible, is it coiled up like a Spoinx? I don't know if you know that Pokemon.
They do.
I know you do, Devrin. I was saying that to Vic.
But you know when cats are relaxed?
Yes. Okay, great. Cool. It just like fades into the silhouette.
You can also know,
Yeah.
as she eats and as she puts it to her mouth, as she makes eye contact with you, she kind of wiggles her tail a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, Ashley, how you doing?
I am doing quite well. How are you?
You know, just eating things out of dead bodies the way that I always do.
You have some
Well,
shifty
I
friends.
believe we both were going to agree not to talk about it, but since you are
You're the only
comfortable-
one uncomfortable about it.
Well, no, I usually
One day you should
eat
try it.
ribs. I don't eat off of ribs. If there are ribs exposed, and it's food, I just eat the ribs.
People around here eat things off people's bare bodies, so you better not be judging anyone else's choices in life.
Please do not think that I am judging anybody.
I'm only kidding.
I welcome your culture. Oh, okay.
So what brings you here today?
First things first, introductions. This is Foxy, who is an acquaintance.
Well, clearly.
Yes, and Foxy, this is Delaria.
And I don't
Lyria?
just mean the ears.
Yes.
Charmed, I'm sure.
And then Delaria kind of just takes her hand, but very
Couple.
gently, she kind of rubs it off on her pants as she approaches.
So, you are. There's a couple things to note. First, Delaria's accent. Delaria, right? We're pronouncing that right?
Delaria, definitely Delaria versus Dolaria, which sounds like
Delaria.
Delaria.
sour cream.
Delaria, you have a Thrainish accent, which means you are from the highly zealous theocracy of Thrain, which is famous for its attachment to the Silver Flame.
Oh yeah.
But we don't know how Delaria feels about that yet. But this is important. Foxy, are you wearing anything that denotes your connection to the Silver Flame?
Yes, Foxy is. Foxy always has a silver arrowhead pendant on her bosom.
Yeah, so Delaria, you would have an opinion about seeing that.
Oh
you would
yeah,
have an opinion.
and Delaria would definitely have an opinion because Delaria is not shy in any sort of way. Kind of recoils a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, well, I see I'm in good company. Are you are you devout, or is it more of a matter of, oh, I kind of do this because if I don't, my
No.
boss might."
No, yeah, I'm pure.
Like me like-
Have you been purified as well?
I've been purified a few times. I do the
Yes,
purifying
well,
myself
we all
now.
follow the church and our members, and yes, we could do
Are
a
you pure
Bible
too?
study. Of course, I am.
That's why I've
There's-
embalming fluid.
This is not. No, I do not want you to think that this is because of your beliefs. I am choosing you because of your expertise. However, it helps, right? We have similar values.
Okay, with that all being said, exactly which expertise are you referring to at the moment, Ashley?
Yes. Okay, so I do not have information to give you beyond the price of what you will be paid, which is reportedly for 2 or 3 days, 500 gold.
You know, it's totally fine. I go out with your brave faces any
Exactly.
day.
So I was asked to assemble a team of experts, and I thought I have good friends who need a paycheck.
Oh, we're friends now.
We are acquaintances. we
I
can
wrote you
become
so
friends.
many letters, and you never got back to any one of those.
My penmanship is embarrassing. It is not because I do not value our relationship. Please understand that I have simple swamp hands. You should see how many times I knock over the Conqueror pieces as I move them. I am called Clumsy Ashley.
Yeah, I'm aware.
in the
That was the last
circuit.
time we
I know.
played those.
I
little
am
things, those
Clumsy
things.
Ashley, the Grandmaster.
I also have a set.
So it is endearing.
If you want to play a game, I have a
take
set.
it
I
in
have not
stride.
got that. I'm sorry, it's an old habit. It's just you don't get it out fast enough, buddy.
No, it's fine.
So,
It's fine.
so Foxy,
Yes.
what brings you here with all this? How has he manipulated you outside of money?
I do not do such a thing. I am straightforward, and you know this.
Yes, I'm
it's
aware. That's
usually-
why I asked about what
No
order of
manipulation.
business.
It's usually me who's manipulating the boys, but this time, it's actually because he helped my daughter.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm returning the favor as best I can.
This is the job I offer you is a favor in of itself.
Also, I need a job.
It is a great paycheck. I understand the questions for formality's sake, but I must stress 500 gold pieces for 3 days' work.
so what you're saying is you're just
Easy
giving her
money.
money and it has nothing to do with the fact that she has a cute little kid.
Plus, yes, I have soft spot for
It could have been
children in
free.
need. So sue me.
It could have been free. It could have been absolutely free. She comes in, gets free kid. Oh, wait, sorry. She comes in with a kid. I would have said yes. I would have helped out. You don't have to
I
offer me
do
money.
not use children as props. What am I? Some awful warmonger?
Ashley, you really take things very literally. I just meant
If you do not mean what you say, then you are a liar. Yes?
now I'm starting
by
to understand why those
definition,
letters are hard to reply to.
By definition. If you
All right.
use a metaphor with me, please let me know.
I shall, and I
Thank you.
have, and that is why I've gotten return to sender at least 3 times in the last. Well, how many years has it been? How much is?
I stop by, I say
Uh-huh.
hello, I am a meat space person. You and your letters, I do not have time to reply to. My penmanship is bad. Please,
All right, I'm
leave it
done
at that.
teasing him, so I'm gonna follow you out. He can come if he wants to.
I am the leader of this excursion.
All right, and then she kind of goes up to you and kind of rubs the rest of the blood off her hands on just a little bit of your shirt, not too visible. And she's like, okay. And then she like adjusts your shirt. She's like, smile. Make sure you don't have anything. Do I have anything in my teeth?
You cannot see the logo underneath my breastplate, but it's the same shirt you always see me in.
I'm gonna get you a shirt with this money.
I won't wear it.
Still gonna do it.
No, you need
Okay,
it
Foxy,
needs a
let's go.
Margrave University logo
go.
on it.
And she checks her teeth one more time in your just plate, and just kind of like you see her pull her whole fingernail just like through her front tooth, just spits, and then starts to walk out.
Oh wait,
before-
one
yeah.
second before you leave, Deliria, I know you and I trust you. We have worked for quite some time, but for the sake of Foxy, could you give a bit of your formal training
Of course.
in the war? You whatever is comfortable for you. Please do not think that I am asking you to overexpose yourself. Just a list of your
Yeah.
resume, if you will.
Running a place like
Overexpose
this.
myself. By overexpose myself, you mean how I killed men for money and then I tortured men for money and now I just take them apart for money. You mean that resume? I was in the war, Silver Flame for the longest time. Then I saw almost a god in pain. It was great. It was a relief. It's not everyone's relief, but it was definitely
Wait,
mine.
are you telling me you no longer believe in the silver flame?
I'm having my doubts.
Oh.
I am here for you if you ever want to talk about your faith. However, please understand that has nothing to do with our professional relationship, and I do not hold the two in tandem.
You really need to work on that, Ashley.
That is a good thing. I am saying I am an impartial employer.
Yes. But
That
you're
is
all
good.
saying you're my okay, fine.
Yeah.
And your
Everyone-
friend, I can be, I can compartmentalize.
I could make a joke here, but I'm gonna say let's get on with it, and especially in the company of such faithful individuals, I will resign myself to an agnostic choice and accept that altogether I'm down.
It will never come into to question this. Why would religion have anything to do with the job we are about to take? It's fine. Your personal preferences are your
Yeah, we're helping
preferences.
kid.
I am here for... No, we're not helping a kid. We are helping an individual. You will find out who.
Her daughter's college fund
Yes,
or school fund.
certainly.
Oh no, that's why I'm signing up. Also you too, but that seems like a good cause.
Wait, are you giving your earnings to Foxy for Birdie's college fund?
Yeah, of course. I have a great job here. What's the point of me having money?
Oh wow, you will be her goddaughter, or godmother.
That is quite kind.
I
Okay,
always wanted
great.
a kid in
Well,
some capacity, as long as I don't have to feed it.
Oh, you won't have to. I've got plenty.
All right.
you could be like a cousin. Spiritually. A fiscal cousin.
You know, just cousins.
All right, let's go on.
I feel like godmother's.
All right, great.
Okay.
All right. Well, then, we should head out and well, this is a bit embarrassing, but I don't know where to find the fourth person I have in mind.
So, but you don't necessarily even need 4. She asked for a team.
Well,
Right?
yes, but there is Ashley has weird beliefs. One of which is a disdain for odd numbers.
Sure. So let's say that you're going to need to look at some dossiers back at the office, and maybe you want the rest of this team that you knew you wanted to
Yes.
look over those dossiers, right?
Yes, and
To-
also he's going to look over maybe even older cases to see who he has worked with for potential allies.
Great.
Because odd numbers are unlucky.
So you walk out into the dryness of Khalistan. You're definitely getting stares from the various halflings and goblins and others that live in this district. You got a little bit more money than most, so it's something. You actually see a group of halfling and goblin children playing with a pixie. Apparently a pixie is crossed over from Thalanis and is making up all sorts of strange and cute lights, and the children are like dancing around with it, and the pixie is clapping its hands. Now, pixies can be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
But this one looks like it's well-meaning. Do you want to intervene? Do you want to watch for a second? What do you guys want to do?
Observe
I wanna make
from
sure
a
these
safe
children
but
don't escape.
close distance.
I'm gonna go right for the pixie.
All right, well, you have fun with that. And if it fucking steals your name, it's your fault.
Not the first
So
time.
the pixie says, "Another play person. Hello.
Of course.
Would you like to be a mouse?
Like permanently or like for like a day?
No more than an hour."
Yeah.
Wonderful. And she points at you, and fairy dust flickers out of her hand. I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Right.
I'm pulling up the DC right now.
I'm pulling up Delaria right now. Yeah.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
Sorry, what kind of roll was that again?
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Oh, great. Delarry ain't got that at all.
Pixie's
DC
wrong
is
with
12.
her teeth.
18.
Great.
In the old world.
You are not being turned into a mouse. And she says,
Aw.
a pity.
I don't know.
But then she's going to say, let me play with the children. Soon I shall offer them some cake.
What kind of cake?
Fairy cake.
Is that blood and teeth?
No, it's delicious.
Can you explain it to me? Tell me the recipe. I'll jot it down.
It's made of magic.
What kind of magic?
So just so you know, you would probably instantly know this. Eating fairy cake connects you to Thalanis and can allow them to steal you away as a
I
changeling.
know. I'm
Cool,
trying
I'm
to.
just making sure.
I'm trying to make sure.
so
she
it's
says
like
it out
giving
loud
them
to
your
the
name.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
Oh, she knows pixies.
She says it's made of sugar and spice and everything nice. And she
Okay.
summons forth a little platter and says, "Isn't it lovely, children? Cupcakes." And they go to reach for it.
Delaria takes her tail out and whips it out towards the plate as the kids start to reach to it.
Make an attack roll.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Job.
I got a 17.
Great. And the pixie looks at you in anguish as her as her cupcakes go everywhere. The children all start crying, and the pixie says, "You!" And then vines shoot out of the ground and go to wrap you up, Delaria.
Okay.
Make me a strength save, DC 12.
Worse. 18.
You rip through the vines, but by the time you do, the mischievous fairy is gone.
All right, you little shits, go home.
She did not. No, you are not shits, but you should go home.
Make a intimidation check for me, Delaria.
Of course. 1 second.
Vic is going to disappear for a second
Uh-oh.
after
I
that
did.
check. Or I will. I'm going to disappear. Be back.
All right.
I got it. Oh, nope, it's Vic.
All good.
Never mind. I'm still here.
Welcome.
Oh, hi.
So, how long are we thinking? Should I? Okay,
3
back
seconds.
soon. Great.
3 seconds.
Great. Just make sure.
Oh,
So, you return to the sky sled to fly back up to the detective agency, and you see that a second sky sled, much more practical one, has been parked alongside it. And surrounding the sled are a group of Sharn Watchmen, looking very menacing. Now, the Sharn Watch, the Sharn Watch is very corrupt and very pay to play, especially in this part of the city. Seeing a Sharn Watchman down here means somebody paid them to be here. Otherwise, they don't go to council.
Yeah, like they are never down here.
Right.
It is immediately suspicious
And
that they're
it's
even
immediately-
in the neighborhood.
They've got truncheons out, and they're putting in their hands. In front of them is a rather large dwarf, not big but not fat. The kind of person that's got real muscle and strength, but not for looks or glamour.
Sure.
Right? And
They never did a cut. They're always bulking.
Right. His hair is graying a little bit. He's probably 150, right? Which is in his 40s for a dwarf, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a much nastier looking truncheon, almost a bat, right? And they see you, you see them. Do you initiate conversation? Do you wait for them to speak?
I raise a hand and I go, hello, how can I help?
As Ashley walks forward, I would like Foxy and Delaria. Sorry. I don't know why I'm failing on this A sound.
Honestly, it's fine either way.
Delaria. make perception checks for me.
Perception. 18.
That is a 10.
Delaria, a dark cloaked figure, is holding back against the wall
Okay.
nearby, in a place that you wouldn't necessarily see them, but they could clearly see what's happening here. You get very much the impression of coiled ambush, like they're waiting for something bad to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you, there's no time because Ashley has already walked forward, but you got your eyes on this figure.
Okay.
And the dwarf sergeant, or lieutenant, you can see a lieutenant's insignia on his Sharn Watch uniform, says, hello there. So, seems you put together a little band.
Yes.
We know who you're working for.
Okay.
And we followed her to your little inquisitive agency. My name is Lieutenant... Please, what?
I was going to say I have the proper paperwork for such an agency.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
All right.
This isn't about legality.
All right.
We've been sent to deliver you a message. My name is Lieutenant Zook Cross. And my job is to make sure people don't interfere with the proper organization of things.
Okay. How have I interfered?
This investigation is called off.
No. No.
The other 6 officers begin to go in a little semicircle around you all, clearly menacing, wielding their truncheons.
I look at the captain and I go, there is no hope with 6 pawns against 1 queen and 3 knights. Are you paying me more to stop this?
Pause real quick. It seems we lost audio.
Yep. There was apparently Google Workspace is a thing, and now they want to charge you for using Google Meet.
Is it back?
It's back. Sound is back.
Right.
Lovely.
I just heard much money. Anyway.
So
sorry.
What do we miss?
Not much. Your threat. Just your threat.
Sure. If you're not gonna, I don't remember what I said, but if you're not gonna give it up, we're gonna have to teach you a lesson.
Unless you can pay me more to not do whatever it is I am supposed to do, you're going to have to try your absolute hardest to teach me anything. I have a dear feeling you are going to learn quite a lot.
You are going to find it hard to get involved in other people's business with broken legs and arms. Let's get them, officers. They're going to move in. Theron, do you want to,
Yes. The cloaked figure sort of springs into action, pulls itself forward, and pulls its hood off, of course, revealing a hobgoblin who, long ears, hair slicked back, somewhat falling forward, the 5 o'clock stubble everywhere, because hobgoblins are pretty hairy. Hiding in sort of, what you can gather from that is kind of hiding and simulating a single scar across their lips. Oak, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing?
Don't get involved. There's a reason I didn't call you in, even though you're my partner.
I know what you're doing, right? We're partners, right? We've been around for a while. Known you for a long time.
I know you don't like to get involved with the
Hey, look, I get
special jobs.
I get involved where I need to get involved, right? I get involved in any jobs you hand me. Hand me a job, I'll take it, right?
So you're gonna help us teach these interlopers a lesson?
No. What I'm here to say to you is I'm gonna ask you a favor. Oak, I've never asked you anything. I asked you damn thing in my life.
Zoak.
I know. I was
Oh,
calling
sorry.
him Oak. Is my
Got
my
it.
nickname.
Got
for
it.
him.
Great,
That's
great.
it.
Just making
Yep.
sure you knew.
Oak, buddy. Known each other for 4 years. We've worked together 4 years. We worked our way from the beat and where we are now. I am asking you, as a friend, just let this go.
Look, even if it weren't about the money, the huge amount of money we've been paid to make sure that this investigation doesn't happen, you don't say no to the Leisha family. Ah, Delur!
Hold.
Delur! I wasn't supposed to say that.
What does
Alright.
the Leisha family want me to not look at?
Not you. Don't speak right now.
I'm
You
just
keep your
doing my-
legs in their places where they are right now.
I'm not moving my legs,
lips
just my
together.
lips.
I'm saying both of those things.
Mm.
I'm working on the legs. You work on the lips. Okay? Thank you.
Good hair, so that shut him up.
Everyone,
Look.
please. Now wait. You made a mistake right there. Now this could all go away, couldn't it? All this. Don't tell anyone I was here. Don't tell anyone you found them. Oh, where'd they go? Don't know. Haven't seen them. Known each other for years. You've eaten dinner at my house with my wife. I'm asking you as a friend. Turn, walk away.
There is no place in this city for good watchmen.
Not being good. I don't know what made you think that I was being good, right? Just here.
You got a choice right now. You
Right.
can walk away and let us do this business, or you can join them in learning a lesson.
Are you by the fucking six? Are you kidding me right now? Years of my life I spent with you. I watched your back for fucking years, and you're gonna.
He says, try not to rough up Theron too badly. But the rest of them, make sure they get a few broken bones. And they move in to strike. Everybody roll initiative.
Wow. Let's see. Not great. 10.
10? Alright, so it's Delaria, Foxy, Ash, Watchman, and then Theron.
Cool.
Alright? Delaria, these cops are moving in to beat you all up. It doesn't look like it's gonna be... They don't look like they're gonna try to kill you. And if you kill Sharn Watchman, it's much worse than beating them up. So try to be non-lethal.
Alrighty, I know exactly what I want to do. I'm gonna go in with my hilt of my longsword.
Great. We'll still
Yeah.
deal full damage, even
I
though
got
you're
a
smacking with the hilts.
22, and I'm ready for my bonus action whenever you're ready to
Are
ask for
you-
that damage.
Are you hitting the lieutenant or one of the 5 watchmen?
Oh, the one that keeps mouthing off.
So at Crass, great armor class 17.
She hits, and she hits with 4. And as a bonus action, I'm gonna use my giant smack.
Great. Zoak is at 54 after being hit for 4 damage.
Alrighty.
He reels back and says, "Oh, a feisty little one. You're not gonna just take your lesson like a good girl, are you?"
And as he says that, I go from medium size to large.
The watchmen back up a little, like this isn't what they were expecting.
And shrug.
Great. Great. Foxy.
A lesson? It looks like you're the only one who needs to learn a new thing. That's my vicious mockery.
Great. He fails.
Taking 1d4.
And disadvantage on his next attack.
That is 2.
2? All right. He's
and
at
as
52.
a bonus action, Ashley, teach this fool a lesson. That's a bardic inspiration.
Lovely.
Lovely.
All right. Ashley.
How many of these cops are there? This watchman.
5 regular watchmen, one lieutenant.
The leader. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm going to go up. I'm going to bonus action rage, and I am going to, slightly foaming at the mouth, pull up with my great sword and just like punch him in the face with my hilt.
When you rage, doesn't something visual happen?
Yes, it does. You cannot see it. It's under my plate mail armor, but Ashley is always wearing a necklace that has a small pawn piece from the game Conqueror on it. It's very important to him, and it begins to glow. And from it, members of his family that have since died, his ancestral guardians, one might say, appear and surround him. And if he successfully hits this lieutenant, some stuff's gonna happen.
Awesome. All right.
That is a math 20, a 15 plus 5.
Great. That hits, crunching through his Sharn Watch armor. Let me know how that damage goes.
10 slashing.
He's at 42, and he balks and says, "So you're the one. You're the one that needs to be taken down." All right. The watchman, he says, "Get this fool first." All right. So, were you reckless?
No, I
Great.
rolled that straight.
So he's got disadvantage. He's going to smack at you with his first attack. He pulls out a second small bat. So he's got a big bat and a small bat, and he's going to wail on you, Ashley. First hit, because of disadvantage, is an 11. I bet that misses.
Misses.
Second hit is straight, which is a 6. Third one, though, with a small bat, is a critical hit. He smacks you for what it would be 9 damage, but becomes 4 because of your rage.
Great.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Is he, have I been standing next to Ashley this whole time?
If you'd like to be, what's up?
Has this guy moved after that hit?
After the hit, no.
I'd love to use Stone Rune.
I don't know.
So Stone Rune works in a way I need you to do a wisdom save for me right now, and if you fail, the DC is 13. I'm gonna have you charmed for a minute.
Great. He gets a 10, which is a fail.
Failure.
Let me grab my touches and read it. I don't know it.
It's a reaction and limited use.
I don't know where my... Oh, there's my touches. Just want to read it, because that's how I learn. Great. So, you... what does it look like when you activate your runes? What are they? Where do they come from?
So Delaria, as I had mentioned before, has a very thinly veiled shirt. You start to see from her chest, there's a bit of just a light that glows, kind of in the case of a stone rune, a very nice, like, aqua blue. And you see it right near her, in her case, near her clavicle, probably near the left part of her chest.
Great. So the energy from that flows out, and he falls unconscious.
Alrighty. Now sit down.
The other 5 watchmen are scandalized by this. They were ordered to attack Ashley, but they clearly want to attack you. But they're going to attack Ashley anyway. Ashley, armor class is 15.
Yes.
You're hit 3 times. Each hit would do 5, and instead does 2, so you take another 6.
Great. Sure.
All right, Theron.
Zeke, you're muted.
Great. So sorry. Anyway, so my eyes flicker for a moment, and then and suddenly the lights turn off, as if they were switched, as if there was a switch for a radius from me. I'm using Eye of Dark. Eye of the Dark. I'm spending 2 sorcery points to do this. I can still see, but no one else can. So, like I'm walking through a black hall of nothingness, I walk up to Zoke behind him, and I say, "You've seen what I've done to people. You've seen what I can do.
He's unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh, Zoke is unconscious already?
No,
Yes.
I believe he's incapacitated.
He's incapacitated. So no, he can hear you. He can hear
Yeah.
you.
Sure. This is good. This is actually important that he hears me. If you tell anyone about what happened here, I know where you live, Zoe. I know your family. I know everyone you love. For 4 years, I was your friend. You betrayed me. I will destroy you.
All right, make a intimidation check with advantage.
With advantage. Good. Thanks. I really need to use real dice. These suck. 24.
Great. The sergeant, the clear second in command, is going to make an executive decision. They were expecting a bunch of civilians who were going to get scared real fast and run away. They weren't expecting any sort of opposition. It's clear he goes to grab Zoak, and they're going to leave. Do you let them?
I grab his badge and tear
Great.
it off his chest.
You're near a slick precipice. You're out here in the rain. Do you want to like throw it off the edge of the tower?
I will.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
The sergeant says, "You're gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay for this. Sharn Watch doesn't forget. They don't forget nothing."
And I want to get as close, super close, where he can't really see anything anymore. But I want to get so close that he can see into my hobgoblin eyes, which are real weird. And I will say, don't forget either.
All right. The watchmen grab their fallen lieutenant, drag him back onto the conveyance as best they can in the darkness, and the sky sled flies off. Unless you do something. It looks like Delaria wants to do or say something.
Oh, I was just gonna give them advice about waking him up.
Oh, great. What?
Don't. Like if you force it, it's just he's gonna punch you or something.
I love it. All right. The policemen leave. And you learned something about your potential opposition. Perhaps you should ask Octavia when you see her again about the Laisha family. Remember, rain is falling. You're probably moving under an awning or into your sky sled in order to have this conversation because it's so wet.
I like the part, the curtain. Get in there. Get in. Come on.
Yes. Thank you, Theron. How are you?
The gnome that's in there says, "Oh, we've got 2 more guests. Where to next, Mr. Gwiddonod?"
We're too
Take the scenic route back to the Lucky Pond Detective Agency.
Sure
it's
thing.
in Harrod's Folly. You know, it is where
Oh,
we started.
Indeed. All
you
right,
are near
buckle
the
up.
end of your contract, friend.
Scenic route. We'll make sure to see Upper Memphis and perhaps even the Skyway. And then
Thank you.
he goes like outside
I
the
am
city.
a particular fan of the race of the 9 winds. If it is along the way, I would like to see the tower.
Oh, sure. It's
Thank
not
you.
far from Harrod's Folly, in fact.
Wonderful.
Great.
Ashley leans back and he looks at Theron. Theron, right? I'm pronouncing that correctly. Theron. And he's gonna try and get a read. Can I just roll straight insight to see like
Please.
where Theron's at and what Ashley knows? I'm proficient. Thank God. That's a 17. Zeke, take
Basically,
that as you
you
will.
can probably even hear him saying it. Just fuming over. What? Sorry, Zoke.
Zoak.
Zoak. Sorry, Zoke's a
You're
character
fine.
in something else, right? Anyway, Zoak. He's betrayal. He's like, but fuck it. 4 years I've spent working with them. 4 years. Just. I ask him for one thing.
Theron, I do not mean to pry, but it
Eh?
seems like there is quite a lot on your mind. Is there something you would like to get off your chest?
Of course. Off my chest. Sure. Well, I risked my whole career to save your ass someone I don't know. Well, I do know, of course. I've met you a few
We've
times.
worked. Yes.
I just out and admitted to the fact that I've helped you before in ways, and I thought I had earned something. No, I thought you know, if you know somebody long enough, right? They care, right? But guess not, right?
I do not mean to seem callous, but perhaps you put your eggs in the wrong basket.
Yeah, I guess so. Guess so. You know, you don't think of a basket when you're meeting people. You don't think about oh, am I invested in this person too long? Especially if they're like a coworker, right?
You do not?
I've done.
You should. Judge everyone impartially. There is no
No, you don't. They don't
yes,
judge people
no,
impartially.
should absolutely
You want to join?
to see how they can be useful or how they may hinder you. Every person is either
All right.
a gift
You
or
want-
an obstacle.
You want me to judge you impartially?
Certainly, I believe. I would hope that you already have.
Sure. On your last investigation, who handed you those keys? Those keys that you illegally obtained.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Illegally obtained. What does that mean you are, huh? I mean, you're a crook?
I am a
crook?
thief.
A thief?
I am someone who stole something from Lower Dura. Please tell me, does the Sharn Watch care about
Wait,
theft in Lower Dura?
okay. I
I
didn't
follow
realize
the law
our
when the law
morality
is
was
followed.
based on whatever the cops went after. I thought in that case, you should be arrested 10, 20, 30 times over, right?
Now, Theron, answer this for me. How many
Uh-huh.
times should you or any
I should have broke
other
your fucking
member?
kneecaps is what I should have done. 2, 3, 4 times. How many kneecaps you got? Could you grow some more legs so I could break them? That's what I should have done.
Theron, you are angry, and it is not with me. I understand that I am the person you are talking to, and so
You're right. I'm not mad at you. I'm saying, perhaps, morality is not as black and white. You see,
I never
don't know.
said it was.
Well, what was right or wrong, right? Anyway, we don't get into that. Look,
Theron, I see you, I judge you impartially to be a useful person, to be someone who has a good heart and someone who wants to do good.
sounds pretty partial to me, but thank
And you also strike me as someone who would like 500 more gold.
You talking about the Tam family thing?
Maybe I am. What
Yeah.
would you know about the Tain family?
Look, I'm not gonna.
No, you are.
They're things are things, right? Look, I have my reasons.
I would
my
like to
reasons.
know them.
I would love to give them to you, right?
All right, please
But,
share with your friend, accomplice,
It's not mine to share, right?
acquaintance, contact. Please, however you see me, share it.
It's not mine to share.
Why not?
What do you mean?
Who prohibits you from speaking your own mind?
What are these?
What
Why
are
does
you
someone
so
just take
scared
my
of?
word on anything. I mean, God,
I take your word, certainly.
it's not
I
mine
know that you
to
are
share.
afraid.
If I told you
I
who
smell
whose
the
it
fear
was
on
to
you and-
share, wouldn't it be just as bad as telling you? That's the beginning of that's revealing the whole hand, buddy. I can't tell you what's in my hand. Why can't you? Because I can't tell you what's in my hand, right? That's it. It's not my hand. It's someone else's hand. Like, I was over their shoulder.
That implies you are playing for a different team.
I'm
I thought
an
we were on the
impartial
same team.
observer.
No, you
All
are
right.
not. You are the one who said just minutes ago that there's no such thing as impartiality.
Look,
So you cannot observe in such a way, according to your own words. I would disagree,
I
but
can't. Sure, I have a stake in my own stake. Not for my life. I mean, God, not for my life. Now you saw that. Something else. And a lot to say, right? It's a lot. And you'll learn it shortly. When you go back to your stupid detective's office. Yeah, look, you may have seen me following. Okay? I may have been in this before you were in this, okay?
So, you are a friend that I can rely on?
Yeah.
Are you a freelancer I could put on my payroll?
No.
I have quite the payroll.
I don't need your money, alright?
No,
For myself.
it is not my money. Trust me, you do not get my money.
I know
But you
whose
will
money
get
is it?
an Ir'Tain check, and that is something.
Yeah. Look, I want to put it on your tab. Decide at the end whether I take the payout or not. Okay? I understand. You gotta make bread. Got contractors working for you, of course. Take care of them. But I'm not here for that. I'm gonna save it up. It's fine.
Okay, great. Love that. Ashley's going to turn to Foxy and go, so you get 1,000 gold and I get 1,000 gold.
That's what I'm
alright.
hearing too, and
No,
I'm
that
not
is
too
exactly.
bad.
How much
you
gold?
both-
Hold on.
That's
It
what I'm
is
hearing.
quite. I
didn't
already
understand.
said
No
it
one
would
else
be
needs
equally
money
be
here,
500
so
gold.
it's just
You
us
said
two.
no to that for 3 days' work, and I
Actually, more.
accept.
Mhm.
How much
Would you like to renege on that statement?
No.
Okay, so-
I said
So I get
respect your
I get your
decision
share.
at the end of the situation.
I
Shit.
see.
Fine, I'll take the money. All right, I'll take it.
Okay,
That's fine.
so you are a freelancer
look,
on my
don't-
payroll. Fantastic.
Turn my arm behind my back. All right.
Just one.
Like
Just one.
it's one arm.
Just one arm.
All right, no kneecaps. Got me. One arm, no kneecaps.
Deliria, are you sure you want to forego the 500?
I don't think I need to remind you. I'm doing this because you're my friend, and it's hard to
All
get
right,
kids to
I'm
school.
just, it was up for conversation that we were on the topic. I wanted to make sure that your mind had not also changed. Thank you.
Yes.
That will obviously go to Foxy because, we need to send Birdie off to Moorgrave University.
Oh,
Yes.
she would love it. She would hate it, but she would love it.
Oh, she would love it.
Oh, I got it.
It is the only school for her.
At the Mage College. If you're interested. My daughter's there right now.
Birdie's got
How'd
a
you keep
few
finding
contacts.
parents?
It is a good school. This is true.
Yeah, it's
Do
great.
you just do you have like a
The
parent?
Conqueror team is lacking, I would say. But, that is not the only mark of a good school.
It's true.
It is, however, the mark of the general intelligence of the student body of that university. And Moorgrave is superior in that regard, along with Hazarek.
You
I'm
said
sorry, you went to school?
Yes, I
sorry.
went to school. I have a degree.
Lucky for you.
The pilot says, you said you wanted the scenic route, and we have a very good view of the Skyway. He points, and indeed, framed by Rhaan, the glowing moon, and the lightning storm that's happening, you see the great floating city of Skyway, where the upper class literally separates themselves from the lower city. You can actually see the gigantic Tain Manor that is up there in the Brilliant District. That's its name. And it's glorious, right? It is a sight to behold, and something that those of you that live and work in the lower districts, Foxy and Delaria in particular, wouldn't see very often, and have to concede at least a little of its beauty, right?
It's wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, I've catered at what used to be the Rockefellers' castle in upstate New York, right? And you're like, I hate this opulence, but also
It's
this
beautiful.
is a castle and it's
Yeah.
beautiful and
Yeah.
good for you guys. I hate capitalism, but
and
like, good for you.
None of you, not even the Sharn Watchmen, would probably ever have been invited up there. They've got their own special private police force.
Look, I have partners with the sergeant. Like, I've been around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been up there, but it would have
Yeah,
been
you've been to a gala.
right. It would have been like a once in a lifetime experience, right? It's very rare that people are invited up to the Skyway. So you arrive after some time back at the Lucky Pawn, passing through Harith's Folly and all the strange architecture. You would see going through here places that remind you of home. A little a fake thatched hut made of wood, but it looks like a thatched hut from the Eldine Reaches. Flammic style silver flame architecture from Thrain that looks like mini cathedrals, right? Even some of the glorious buttresses and marble pillars that mark Syrian architecture before the morning, right? Home for you, Theron. And so you eventually land at the Lucky Pawn, and you've got a few minutes. It's like 8:30, so you got about half an hour before Miss Ir'Tain is meant to arrive again.
Oh, well, I certainly, Ashley would immediately offer drinks to everybody. It's the first thing on his mind as he's pouring himself another Sazerac.
I'll take one
Pouring.
as well.
I mean, mixing.
That is
complicated
pouring
drink.
the ingredients,
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
all 5 of them. Goodness.
Look,
There
you
are a
gotta
lot of things
muddle
I needed.
You gotta muddle that sugar
There are a
cube.
lot of things I needed to add to my bar tonight in order to make this drink, but it is worth it, and I now own absinthe.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was gonna ask. Which one'd you get?
I went to a place called PJ's Liquor in it's right at 204
First place. I
And,
used to live by there.
Yeah, no, it's a great spot. They didn't have Angostura aromatic, and they only had one kind of absinthe. It is absinthe with 2 E's. Absinthe. It's the one that has like Van Gogh on the cover.
Yep.
It comes with its
Just a
own
good
spoon, though.
Yeah, it does.
And I was like, I don't have an absinthe spoon, so I don't know. I'm sorry. I said all of this in Carter's voice,
I
so
love-
it's fine.
It's fine. I love the chat. Also has love for PJs.
PJ's it's a solid store. I
was like,
walked
oh
in and
yeah,
I was
fuck
like,
yeah,
why
PJ's.
did I ever go anywhere else in my neighborhood? I love this place. Shout out to PJ's.
Our new sponsor.
No,
kidding.
unofficially.
Honestly, if we asked,
But,
I'm
like,
sure
good
PJs
for
would
them.
be like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't give
Yeah.
a shit. Want
You know,
$20?
I'll ask next time I need to pick up absinthe.
Great. All right. So drinks are shared. This is a moment. Ashley has interviewed our other characters, but the characters haven't quite interviewed each other. Do any of you have questions for the others? Want to get to know the others? I don't even know if you guys shared names yet. With them.
I think I did
Okay, great.
no, I didn't do introductions with Theron. No,
You did?
I forgot.
You got a few minutes to get to know each other before the client.
We were in the
returns.
heat of the moment.
Yeah.
John, could I, as a roll insight on
Please.
them? Well, never mind. I won't do it right now because my other computer died. So give me 1 second.
I can roll for you.
Cool. I don't know what my numbers are because I don't. Sorry. It's a new character. I'm sorry. Bloop, 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 bloop,
Yours
bloop,
is the
bloop.
one character sheet I haven't seen, so I
Well-
can't help you.
Turn on. Okay. Well, insight is the one thing I'm not. Wild. +4 at least. Well, worth it. 23.
Great. With a 23 insight, I'm going to ask each of the 3 other players to what they think a 23 insight might non-verbally reveal about their characters.
Also coming from a detective who's been working there for 4 years. Hence, a good detective, not somebody who has been a... I mean, he's been a jerk, but he also pays attention.
Well,
Why don't? Yeah, please.
you probably can see that Foxy's around mid-30s, has had children, has rougher hands than you would notice. Usually, like beautiful women have like these soft, silken hands, but she worked on a farm, so there are calluses where you wouldn't normally see calluses. You can see that she's very hardworking, I feel. What else? You notice the silver flame medallion on her bosom, as I said. And it's polished, you note. So it's something that she takes very good care of. And you also notice that her hair, while messy, is beautiful. And that's just that on that.
Nice.
Great. What do we learn about? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, do you mean like? Oh,
Yeah.
you
What do I
notice
see?
that there's a lot of there's something really going on with her chest, like a little bit of a light show sometimes, especially since she's been drinking. You also notice there's a lot of scars on her face and her shoulders. She seems to wear them with pride. Half the time the shirt's off the shoulder and the whole thing's just being held up by suspenders. And I feel like you will notice a few times that she just kind of glares at Ashley as if there's a grudge going on. But once Ashley notices, she just smiles. Larry doesn't see a lot of friends, and you can tell that she's very used to being alone. But not by her own choice, by occupation.
Gotcha.
Hence,
Yeah.
the money situation.
Beautiful book, John.
Thank
What a
you. The chat is
expensive-
talking about
Yeah,
Beautiful book.
yeah.
shit. Yeah, all of them.
All the lore. All
I
of
think
it.
I'm gonna shell out that money somehow for that Dragon source book that I love so much. I just want a physical copy. It's $150, but it'll only get more expensive, and it's my favorite Eberron book. Anyway, great, and then finally Ashley.
I think 23 on your insight.
Yeah. See a lot.
I think, I mean, obviously you know a fair amount about Ashley already because we have a history where we've run into each other, and I feel like you know all of Ashley, like post moving to Sharn. You probably know that history. If you know Ashley, you know about the pawn and the necklace and his connection to his father as well. So I think maybe for the first time, you notice there's a small insignia on his breastplate. It is very tiny, but there are 9 golden dots in a circle, and there's like a string of silver making a 9-pointed star. Which is really just like 3 triangles, right? But that's new, and with the 23, you would probably make the connection that is he's had this for as long as you've known him. This is probably his armor from his time as a bodyguard and soldier for the 9 sorceresses, and perhaps that is their symbol or call sign.
Great. Foxy, I know you are skilled in insight. Do you want to do the same thing for Theron?
I do, actually, because I've got a few questions for you. That is a, let's see, insight 17. Yep, 17.
Fine. You can tell this is a person who's been holding up a ruse of being that someone has been holding something together for a very long period of time. It's been holding together a Jenga tower on an ice cube, and it's finally. I doesn't know if he can handle it anymore. He's been blindfolded the whole time, and he thinks it's falling apart.
How disheveled is his look?
Terrible. Super terrible. Like you could see in the Everyone else can see. You guys can't see. But there's some hair falling forward in the caricature, but at this point it's just entirely lost its form. He's been running his hands through his hair the whole time, and he's not drinking a cocktail. He is drinking straight from one of the bottles. He has not read the label of it.
Bags under his eyes.
At this point, not yet. Actually, strangely enough, he looks very healthy.
Interesting.
Can Ashley have done some, or like, is there a way Ashley knew that Theron is the kind of gent who's just going to drink out of a bottle regardless and place like his lowest shelf anything?
This is so massively against Theron to you that.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So then,
This is nothing
then
like-
you've got my black label, beautiful,
Yeah,
gorgeous,
grabbed a
like-
bottle.
Oh,
like 10 gold bottle,
Yeah.
and you're just drinking it straight without pausing to get the nose of it or any hints of anything. Lovely.
it's also at this point that Eulogy is going to come in. Again,
Right.
light green, slim, slender frame, built to appear female. And she has and she's got a little notebook, and she says, hello everybody. My name is Eulogy. I'm Mr. Gwiddonod's assistant. And I just we're gonna be working together, so I wanted to introduce myself. I'm a good researcher. I'm a good cataloger. If you need to look up something, or have any questions, or just you need somebody to talk to, I was literally designed to tell people that their loved ones had passed away. So I'm a very good listener, and I'm a very, very good talker.
Can I roll insight on the way that she said the name
Gwiddonod, of course you can.
Gwiddonod.
But only, yes, exactly. Only if you say it correctly.
Gwiddonod. That's a 21.
A 21. She is crazy about Ashley. You look at Ashley with that same insight check, and he has no idea. Now, you don't know. It's certainly, Warforged are technically genderless, and it's probably non-sexual, but there's a deep love that Ashley is completely unaware of.
What a lovely young woman.
Oh, thank you. I mean, at this point, I was only the second wage of Warforged, so I'm in my 30s. But that's very kind of you to call me young.
Oh wow, you look like you were built yesterday.
Wait, is 30s old?
For a Warforged, the oldest of us are only in our early 40s. So I'm one of the
Age
oldest
is
generations.
not a number for you, Eulogy.
Mr. Gwiddonod. So, anyway, if you need anything, if any time during this investigation there's something
Thank
you
you
want to look
very
up
much.
or need anything, I'm here. I'm at all of your disposals, and I'm going to get together all the paperwork for the distribution of funds and all.
Yeah, thank you. That is quite kind and proactive of you.
So she goes back to the front.
Great. What time is it?
If there's no business left, it's 9. But I wanted to
I
make
don't
sure
think
you guys had your.
Ashley has none.
I'm
Ashley
sorry,
is
what?
going to
There-
drink.
There's only one thing that I'd like to know. Theron, how long have you been on the force?
About 4 years since the last war ended. I made my way here. My wife is going. My daughter is going to what is it again? Sorry, John. Starts with an A.
Audere is the name of the country. Arcanix is the name of
Arcanix.
the
Sorry, I was fighting.
university.
My daughter got into Arcanix, so I decided to. She always wanted to live in Sharn, so I moved here. After the war, after the thing died down, and I sort of enlisted here, right? One enlistment into another, and I thought I would build a life for her first before she got here, you know, because this is a hard city to live in, right? This is a hard place to be. I thought I'd give her a step up, and well, she's supposed to be back a few months ago. She graduated a few months ago, and I haven't heard not hide nor tail of her. So I was a little stressed, and sort of made some poor decisions. I hope I didn't ruin all of that. Anyway, sorry if I've shared too much with you.
Oh,
Not at all.
Theron, is your daughter okay?
She's fine. She's taking a little longer, you know. Things after the war, you know, there's the trade routes. They're not like.
So you have not talked to her
I mean, it's
for
hard.
3 months.
It's hard to hear from her, right? She's in travel. Yeah.
Have you tried to hire anyone to like track her
Look,
down?
I don't want
or
to.
anything?
Look,
Hey, literally, this is my job, and you do not think to ask for help.
Knock, 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 knock.
We will resume this at another time. For now, our employer is here. Yes, please come in.
Miss Octavia Ir'Tain is returned?
Yes. No, thank you, eulogy.
Great.
Very
So
much.
the door opens, and Octavia has undergone an entire costume change.
Good for her.
She's wearing a brilliant orange dress that reveals her very long and luxurious legs. That's for you, Jackson.
Good, great. We
Um,
needed to know about the legs.
We need to know about the legs. They go all the way up to her hips.
Oh my god.
Wow,
and,
normal. Standard legs. Good to know.
And she's wearing another boa. This time it looks like it's made of pure flame, and it moves and burns as she settles it off to the side. She's once again entirely dry, and but she rode the same sable Pegasus, right? And she has another red umbrella that she takes off and puts down. Her whole look is flame and fire, where last time it was storm and night. She's wearing ruby earrings as well. This time you also notice that she's wearing a silver ring. Rather than give the perception check, you would have noticed it last time and I forgot to mention. She's wearing a brilliant silver ring. It is the only thing about her outfit, except for her wedding ring, that has not changed.
Okay.
Right?
Is there an insignia or anything on the ring?
It is plain.
Great.
But
Same
you
hand,
feel,
different hand.
it is on her right ring finger.
Interesting. Okay.
As opposed to her wedding band on
As
her
opposed
left
to her
ring.
left. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she says, I see you've gotten your group together. She looks around and says, though I don't think I recognize any of them, which is probably for the best.
Well, yes, you require certain services that are clandestine, and I have acquired certain friends and accomplices who have a similar predisposition.
I trust you implicitly after everything I've done in my research about you and after our earlier conversation.
That is a lot of confidence.
Well,
Thank you.
I only wanted to work with the best. Let me tell you a little bit about myself.
Please.
My name is Octavia Ir'Tain, though my original last name was Uula. I am from Ter Valstis, which is the capital city of Valinor. I grew up as a Valinor elf, and was brought in to cement an alliance between my half-elven family and the half-elven family of the Tains. I grew up in the largest city in Valinor. It's nothing compared to this, so in many ways I still feel like a small-town girl in a vast and confusing urban jungle. My husband's name is Has Ir'Tain. Perhaps you've heard of him. Investigation checks, anybody that's lived in this city for more than a few years gets advantage. If you think
Not
your
once,
character
never
would
mind.
know the people of Sharn, take advantage.
19.
Great.
I know the bodies, but 13.
Thank you for that advantage. I appreciate it.
So, So 19. Haas Ir'Tain is an Ir'Tain you've heard of. Is a Tain you've heard of. He is the heir apparent. He's Celeria, the wealthiest woman in Sharn's son.
Okay.
Half elven. He is going to inherit the vast bulk of the Tain wealth when Celeria passes away. He is an outspoken anti-monarchist. He wants to absolve the monarchy and institute parliamentary democracy. It's really closer to like original American, like only certain people get the vote kind of democracy. But it would be the first democracy in Eberron. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And he is political, well known, and has a reputation for grumpiness, lack of people skills, antisocialness. But like a real political head. Does that make sense?
Yes.
She continues. Now, I don't think it's a mystery. My home life with my husband isn't full of a lot of love. It was a marriage of political convenience, attaching my house, which is a very large house of the Terndal, the Valinar elves, and with his, and I wasn't considered to be a very good pick amongst the Valinar because of my, well, human side of my heritage. But I am, but a good connection for the Tains. So, my husband and I are friendly. We are we're polite with each other, but there's not a lot of love. My daughter, however, is my light and joy and my reason for living in this city of knives. And I love her so very much. She has been the only light of my life for these last 19 years. And she's the reason I'm here. Do you want to offer her a handkerchief? Anybody?
Yes, certainly.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
She's been missing for 3 days now. And 3 days, no word from her. There's been a few rumors, some people that have said they've seen her, and the places they've seen her are very different and very, well, they're not very safe places, and I don't know why she's there. And the problem is, if my husband were to find out that she's missing, or if his opponents were to have proof that she was missing and run away, it could be a serious coup for my husband's political ambitions and an embarrassment for the Tain family in general. The Tain Gala, the first of the month, the first Tain Gala of the month is in 4 days on the 5th, and if she's not present, it will be a scandal.
I do not mean to comment on your husband's parenting, but do you think he will notice his daughter has been missing before the gala? You may speak frankly.
I don't think it's very likely. The two of them don't...
Wonderful. No,
don't
the
very
more
much,
time, the better.
Don't very much see eye to eye. He's particular, and she's a bit of a free spirit.
I understand. This is the way of youth. So that gives us a maximum of 4 days to find your daughter and bring her home in time for the gala.
So, wait, sorry, Ashley, if I may speak.
Oh, certainly. Delaria,
So,
please.
what is, it seems as though your daughter's very distant from your husband as well.
Indeed.
Do they regularly see each other outside of your home? Do you hold separate homes?
My husband is a distant man. We live in the same house with the rest of the family in the great manor of the Ir'Tain Manor up in Brilliant. He only notices her when discipline is necessary, or he wants to set her up on a date with a fine young gentleman. In order to cement further alliances with the house, as is the way amongst the nobility in this family. She's not a big fan of these dates. She doesn't tend to approve of the young men. And indeed, yes,
Mr. Ir'Tain, I have one more question for you.
Please, as many as you'd like.
How would you like me to proceed if your daughter does not want to return?
What sort of question is that?
I hadn't.
It is an honest one, and I require an honest answer. I want to know what I am being hired for.
I hadn't entirely considered it.
It must be considered in merely for the purposes of this employment. I am quite sure that she has been taken against her will and will more than likely come with. However, there is always the possibility that she has run away in earnest and does not wish to return. Shall we use a gentle push
Well,
to bring her back?
If Dad's just throwing her on the streets, and then I'm not sure, I doubt throwing her about's gonna help us with anything.
Oh,
there will be no throwing. I'm
No.
simply curious if her attendance is mandatory or if we must survey where her mind is.
The intention is that she return. I would
I
very much
understand.
like for you to use whatever's at your disposal, non-violently
Oh,
and non-forcefully,
certainly
of
never.
course.
No,
To
no,
return
no,
her?
no. Again, I have quite confidence that we will find your daughter, and she will be more than happy to come with. But this is a contingency that I should be prepared for. Thank you for your honesty.
If she is safe, do what you can to request that she returns for the gala, and then let her know that I have no issues with her gallivanting about as long as she's safe.
I
If
understand.
she's unsafe or in a dangerous situation and personally unwilling to return,
We
I would
will
ask
ensure her safety.
and that she return.
I
She's a young
understand.
woman. She's 19.
Certainly.
She doesn't have all of her faculties yet.
Mhm.
And if something is required and she is in an unsafe situation for her to return, then that is what's necessary.
Yes, of course.
2 more questions.
Please, anything.
The first one, when you're saying unsavory places, I imagine she's going. Where have you assumed that she's banned before she went missing?
Well, there's been 3 different sightings of her in the last 3 days, and none of them are in particularly savory locations, and all of them very strange for a young woman of her standing to be at.
Delaria
The first,
will push it too.
of course, no. The first is a place that, if I'm entirely honest, I have not myself stayed away from, is Velvet's Dream Parlor. Velvet's Dream Parlor is a organization, is a place in what is the exact district? It's the lower reaches of Sharn. It's in one of the red light districts, Dragon Eyes, I believe. That is run primarily by changelings. Velvet's Dream Parlor is a combination bordello and illusion parlor. It's a place where you can hire a changeling or illusionist to create any circumstance that you might like. And yes, about 50 to 75% of that is sexual, but a lot of it isn't. A lot of it is, I'd like to speak to my dead father again. I'd like to practice my pitch for the board of directors. I'd like to experience what it is to murder somebody.
There are legitimate reasons to go to this establishment.
Right. But
It's
it
not
is
the most taboo thing to be seen on.
But it's definitely it's definitely criminal. It's
So-
connected to the Tyrants, which is the Changeling Thieves Crime Guild, right? It's definitely criminal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is indeed in the Dragon Eyes district in Lower Sharn.
Can we focus back on Daddy for a second?
Absolutely.
Um,
There are 2 other places
that's
she's been
fair.
seen. Let's make sure to get back to them. But please,
Oh, absolutely. Has Dad maybe disapproved of some suitors in the past, or maybe some friends?
yes. Oh goodness. She doesn't have much in the way of either of those that I'm aware of. We mostly spend a lot of time together. It's not very, it's frowned upon for her to leave the compound.
All right. Okay, you can go ahead with those two other places.
The others are much less reputable. One of them was that she was, seen outside the Silver Mist Dream Lily parlor in Calliston. Particularly for you, Delaria, you know this place. It's actually down the street from your mortuary. It is a Boromar-run Dream Lily parlor, which is basically an opium den. Dream Lily is a highly potent, highly addictive soporific that is much like opium, leaves people in a state of helplessness, but pleasure. And all sorts of smuggling and other nefarious doings happen at the Silver Mist Dream Lily parlor. Right?
Certainly knew a few acquaintances that have wandered in and out of there and in and out of my mortuary.
I've only heard of it. Oh, mortuary. I've only heard of it by reputation. Do you think that it's as dangerous as people say?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, the last one is the worst, the most upsetting. She was seen in the company of an Oni, an ogre mage, going into the cogs. My informant wasn't able to follow them, but she's been into the undercity of... She went into the undercity of Sharn. I don't know why, and she hasn't been seen since. That was the last one seen earlier today, and what made me convinced I needed to find an inquisitive to track her down and make sure that she's all right.
That last one definitely threw me through a loop.
This is a reliable source who saw your daughter go into the cogs.
My manservant Caleb has been trying to follow her and track her down. He's certainly not of the level of skill that you all are, and he might have even been seen. But Kalen has seen. I trust Kalen. You're welcome to interview him. The other place that you might wish to investigate is her room. I've kept it up in the Skyway. I've kept it unmolested since she's left, and there might be some information about where she's gone.
If we could take a look without arousing too much suspicion, then yes, that would be helpful.
She says, well, I have two things for you in that regard. The first is 2 round-trip ferry passes to Skyway, and for each of you. And second, invitations to the gala in 4 days. I'm allowed to bring in some people, and this is another measure of my thanks for you taking on this job. You're welcome to the gala. Make sure you dress appropriately. But also, if you're seen in the Skyway, you will be asked why you're there. And invitations to the gala in 4 days' time is more than enough reason to be present.
Yes, we must acquire the proper attire, to say the least.
Everything I own has holes in it. Why
yes,
do you think
certainly
I wear these?
we must purchase clothes for the gala in the Skyway.
I hadn't even considered that.
Out.
No, you have given more than enough for the expenses of the day. Do not worry.
Oh, this is a personal matter between Ashley.
In the Upper Menthis Plateau, there's the finest of clothiers. A gnome by the name of Thuric Devandi runs Devandi's Fine Tailor. And I'm going to make sure they know to extend credit for whatever clothing you need for the gala.
Lovely. We will seek out this gnome.
Well, it's been a little while, and my comings and goings, I know, are looked after, and I would like to return back to the Skyway. But please, if there's any other questions you have, anything you need, please let me know.
Right, one more question. Right, if I told you the Elastia family, Elastia, family, had something to do with Sharn Watch looking the other eye on this, turning the cheek, and also maybe the fist to stop anybody else from looking that direction.
The Laisha family are little better than bigoted thugs. Their patriarch, Noin Irlacia, is a staunch humanist. He hates that the wealthiest family in Sharn is half-elven, and views Sharn as a human city that should be run by humans, which is why he's running against that shifter, even though he has no other stake in Lower North Edge.
Yeah.
They are staunchly opposed to my husband. They're monarchists, and he is perhaps my husband's biggest political opponent.
Madam,
Yes.
let me ask you this. Do you yourself have any enemies?
She pauses for a second. Make an insight check.
That is a 19.
She pauses and says, "No." Absolutely, she does. But she doesn't seem to be willing to talk about it or think it's prudent at this juncture.
Okay, ma'am. Madam, that's all I wanted to know.
Very good. Any of the rest of you?
I am satisfied, thank you.
I want to make sure. So you think that none of this Laisha stuff has anything to do with your daughter? That it's just a cash grab in the end to subvert your power? You're sure of that?
So, I don't think he had anything to do with her disappearance. That's not his style. But I do think that he would be very interested in providing proof that she was a delinquent, because it would make my husband look bad.
Right.
So, my guess is if they're interfering, it's so that they can capture her, arrest her for some sort of tawdry crime, and use that to embarrass my husband and family.
Yes.
But perhaps another line of investigation, perhaps they know something and you can pull it out of them. I don't know when Irlacia is a famously difficult gentleman. So I don't know how much you would get out of him, but perhaps he's worth interviewing.
We will see. We will.
All right. So, chat. There have been 5 different potential places. I know. I'm giving you time.
Hold on, I have nowhere to. Hold on, give me like.
Take a
20
second.
minutes.
20? Well, let's not do that.
Yeah.
There are 5 different potential places to start this investigations. When this crew goes investigating, there's always going to be multiple threads to follow and a mystery to solve. Now, here's the thing. There are clues at all these locations that I have put together, right? And if a place is not gone, there will be information missing. And when the time comes, you will all have to make a decision as the chat over where to go and where to follow through on things. So the clues are going to be gathered by you, the chat, and the cast. You are going to direct this investigation. We're going to make the first choice now, but as we finish places that are investigated over the course of the series, you're going to determine the next locations. We will not be able to go everywhere. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There will be missed clues and missed locations, and it will be real and fair.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? That's my goal for this mystery.
So is the episode ending with a binary choice?
The episode is ending with a
5.
quintary choice.
Way more than 5.
And we will be
What are the
going to the
choices?
first location. Sure. The first is Velvet's Dream Parlor.
Okay. Next
The
one.
second is the Silver Mist Dream Lily Den. Let me know when you want the next one.
Dream. I'm just gonna put drug den because I don't have any space.
That's fine. The third is the Cogs, the Undercity, where she was last seen. The fourth is her room in Jaquette's room in the Ir'Tain Manor. Yep.
Gotcha.
Right where I go.
And then the 5th is the Laisha Estate.
Laisha.
Correct.
Cool. Very cool.
All right.
Everyone, 2
so
minutes.
2 minutes for this vote. Cast, why don't you chat during this where you think is a good idea to go in character?
Well, I guess the very best place to start would be maybe at the beginning. You would think that maybe she left some sort of clue in her bedroom, maybe a diary of some sort. What do you think, Ashley?
Well, I understand your line of thinking, Foxy, but if she was seen at the beginning of this morning in the cogs, then perhaps time is most of the issue, and we should make our way down to where she was witnessed with the Oni, and see if we can pick up a fresher trail. I do not doubt that there is quite a lot to learn from the beginning of this bender.
How about you, Theron? What do you think?
Oh, sorry. I was reading chat. I apologize. Look, I know some changelings. I know they could be good people. They know their way around the city, and they could they give us insight on the way things are run around here, right? Maybe they saw, not necessarily at Velvet's, but look, changelings can be anywhere, right?
Delaria, you're next to the Silver Mist drug den, or the Dream Lily den, right?
That may be true, but I'm kind of wondering more so that the parent intuition might be the best thing to follow with both you. I've seen friends go in and out. I've wheeled them in and out on slabs, and also seen people on slabs wheeled out, but that's neither here nor there. I think that going...
Ooh, a 3-way vote.
That's a first.
Can we put those 3 in?
Cool.
Can we do
I
another
just
chat?
And whoever
Thank
voted
you.
her
Try it
room
again.
is going to be our tiebreaker.
one more time. Velvets. Cogs. What's the last one?
Silver Mist, drug den.
Drugs.
Double drugs.
Breaker.
Drugs, double drugs, and
All right.
triple drugs.
In chat.
It's 2 different kinds of drugs.
Which drug is it? Or
It's
is
the
it
best
just
drugs.
being in a bad part of the city?
Heroin.
Feelings and
Ooh.
opium.
Maybe the drug. The friends we made along the way.
Maybe it is.
Maybe
Or maybe it's the
your
evil that
love-
men do.
Also, thank you for being in London. London, sorry, forgot to vote last time.
Thank-
Just saying. Thanks for being here. I saw you spot hidden, and then now you're London. I appreciate you sharing your presence on both both streams. Anyway, sorry. As character. So
Oh.
look, we're not going to a room. Want to do anything like that? I still stand by my belief that changelings are the way to go. They're despite what people will think of them, they're quite trustworthy. A lot of them, in my experience. I met a few on the war myself, and I've never had any trouble with them. Anybody else got an idea?
Like I said, I honestly think that it's a good idea going into the places around me. However, I think the parents really should understand how that works. I don't have a kid.
I do not have a child, no.
No, but apparently I have a robot girlfriend.
What?
What?
Oh, what?
I have a secretary.
Uh-huh.
Are you talking about eulogy?
Uh-huh.
A eulogy is my employee. Why would you...
Nothing.
Did I act inappropriately in any way?
No, not at all.
No, was I,
I didn't-
overbearing or in any way sort of misogynistic?
Ashley,
no,
you've
actually,
been
I
a
want to
protector.
ensure that this is a safe workplace environment.
Ashley, I like
absolutely
didn't realize.
is.
I thought you guys would have got her. I didn't know you paid her.
No, she is my
So
employee.
What?
That is wildly inappropriate.
I know
Please,
you is. You tell me you pay that.
what part of my behavior makes you think
I mean,
in
it's
such a
not-
way I need to adjust it? Because that is wildly inappropriate.
Ashley wasn't you. That's what I'm saying. It's not you that led us into this fucking conundrum. I mean,
I
I'm
did not
gonna
know
be
I
honest
was
with
in
you.
a conundrum.
I've never seen a construct blush before in my life, but wow.
All right.
I do not know what you're talking
Velvets. Velvets has been the choice. We're going to be traveling to Dragon Eyes to visit the Dream Parlor. Yeah, we are. We will be visiting that. Why don't you make that decision in character now? Get a conveyance, and then
Yes.
we'll pick up at Velvets at the beginning of next week.
about. Velvet's was the first spot she was seen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have thought about it sometime, Foxy, and I think that your line of thinking is correct. If we are to catch this young woman, we must start where things started. We will follow her trajectory as best we can, hoping to supersede her and catch her before the gala. Is this a plan that we can all agree on?
Yeah,
Party
maybe we can find out who she wanted to see at the Velvets.
Precisely, yes. In what was she maybe practicing?
Well, I guess
Right.
we'll just have to find out.
Well, this is an establishment where you go to practice things.
Practice what? Sorry.
Like a difficult speech you have to say in front of investors. Maybe someone would have hired them to do
I'm
that.
sorry, Ashley. You go over there to do
I have
speeches.
Once. I did not like it. They made me feel uncomfortable.
You know,
I think
there's
I see your
these-
relationship between. I'm picking it up now.
There's a
How
thing called
funny.
reflexive surfaces. Like, they're called mirrors.
No,
Reflect-
my eyes scare me.
Your eyes.
All right.
I do not like looking
All
into
right,
them.
everyone.
It is fine. It's
Children,
perfectly
let's get
normal.
together in a single file line. Follow me. We're going to the
I
Velvet
prefer
Den.
doubles if we
Uh,
can. It is more strategic, and it is a stronger base. There are 4 of us. We should walk 2 abreast for safety.
Well, if we're going abreast, I'll go first.
Hey, thanks for joining us for Dice, Drinks, and a little drama. Today was our inaugural episode of The Reigns of Rhaan, an 8-part mini-series. It's a mystery noir adventure set in the world of Eberron. If you like what you saw, please join us at Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The audience is actually going to interact with us in this show. We're going to put up a lot of choices, multiple choices, to choose how we investigate this mystery. And through your actions and choices, we may not be able to figure it out, or we might get the nail right on the head. I should really write these out before. Probably help out. What also would help out, if you click on this link over here, there's a little box floating. That goes to the most recent episode of our previous series, which I'm currently uploading, hopefully once a week until we get caught up. And then over here, we've linked to a bunch of one-shots. If you just want a single dose, please keep the YouTube love flowing. Even if you click on some way down below over there, I don't care. Hit subscribe. Subscribe, there's a bell. Click that so you know when we get stuff out. And then up here, there's another button to subscribe. Putting a lot of buttons in here. I like buttons. You should like buttons too. Get into buttons. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, bye.